Hello adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. I am super excited because I have been working on something for quite a while. You've probably seen me carrying around a very tiny power station, and today it's finally the day where I get to share with you what I thought about this particular power station. Now, I always provide tons of information here on the channel for you guys at home because I want you to know what is available out there. And this particular power station is a whopping 300 watts, but comes in small and mighty and in a nice little square. Now, many of you have been asking after seeing it in my videos, so today finally is the day where we're going to talk about it. This, for everyone who is new to the channel, is the Vatid, V-A-T-I-D power station. It is a 300 watt power station. It is nice and tiny, and it does have a handle which folds down, which creates some nice features that we'll talk about in just a minute. So without further ado, let's get to talking about it. Now, as you can see here, this is a very tiny power station. In fact, I have an iPhone 12 Plus here, and I can set it on top, and notice that whenever I tilt it, there's only about an inch of difference in each side. So this is a fairly small power station, and because of that, it can fit in a lot more places. Now, height-wise, it is about the same height as the iPhone when it stands up. So that kind of gives you an idea of the size as a whole. Now let's talk about some of the different features though. The features are what really make this one a very user-friendly power station. I kept this little sticker on here just because it's a good reminder sticker. A lot of times I just pull them off, but this one has really good function. So right here you can see that there is a light that can turn off and on. There is also an AC and a DC, which if you look very closely, that is also kind of embedded into the button. But what you do is you simply hold it down for 2 seconds, and then you'll notice that the display screen actually turns on. Whenever it does, it shows you very clearly which power source that you have activated. In this case, AC. Here it is a little bit closer. You can see the display a bit better here. But notice right here it says 100%, but next to that it says 99 hours. That means that in its current state of the things that are turned on or plugged in, you could get 99 hours out of this battery. Now, as we plug things in, you'll notice that that number will change based on what kind of watts are being pulled away from it. But one of the things that I also like about this being so clear as to which part is activated, showing you the AC, it also marks the outlets. So you'll see which outlets are actually AC versus DC outlets, which is super nice. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, because a lot of people who are especially just starting out don't have as much familiarity with AC versus DC charging. And so this is a good starter station to kind of get you acclimated for what to expect going forward, and also kind of getting an idea as to how much draw that individual items have, because it does tell you approximation of hours based on draw, which means that you could physically take everything in your van and plug it into this guy right here, and it will tell you how many hours or how many minutes that it will work. And so it takes the guesswork out for you. Now, in addition, you'll notice there are a variety of different plug and play options on this power station. So you have 2 regular pure sine wave AC outlets, which would just be your traditional home plug. Then you have a 12 volt outlet right here in the middle, and that is actually good for like your refrigerator or many other items that are commonly used in van life. Then we have a series of USB and USB-C inputs and outputs, in addition to some inputs right here that are 12 volt. So tons of different little outlets on this tiny power station. Now, how does this work though? Okay, let's start off by using just a regular standard cell phone plug. This is going to be a USB plug, and I'm going to go ahead and first plug it into my phone itself. So it's plugged in. I'm going to just set this right here, and then we're going to plug it in to one of the outputs. There we go. Okay, we are good. And now we're going to turn on the DC. Now, based on that, we are now able to activate these 2 ports right here, and it's showing that it's pulling about 11 watts on my cell phone charge currently. Now, again, this is the cheat sheet right here. You can see that it changed this number. And that number went from 99 hours to 23 hours. So I could charge my cell phone on here for 23 consecutive hours at 11 watts. So that kind of gives you an idea of how many watts that each individual thing will pull based on, again, plug and play. It's super simple. Okay, for this next one, I have a battery bank. I use these a lot for circulating my air with smaller fans. And this one is not fully charged. It's at about 80%. Okay, again, all we're gonna do is just plug it in. So we just find the end and then we plug it directly into the power station. And then it should start. It is. So it's pulling about 9 watts right now. And it says that we could do 29 hours of this power station right here. So what that tells me is that this is a good little power station for keeping all of my smaller ticket items charged up. And it didn't take very long to charge this guy. In fact, I had it on a wall charger at base camp here, and it took about 3.5 hours to get it topped off. You can see it's still regulating. It looks like it's gone down to 8 watts, and now at 8 watts, we could get 32 hours. Now the real question, what does it do with the fridge? Well, I can already tell you it works. It definitely works. Now for this one, my fridge has been unplugged since returning to base camp, so today we're gonna plug it in real quick using one hand. And notice that whenever it's not plugged fully in, it actually gives you an error message, meaning that it cannot use this port at this time because it's not properly connected. So instead of allowing you to basically melt down your power station or possibly your device, it gives you a heads up, which is awesome. But really guys, let me use both hands and I'll get it plugged up properly. So as you now can see, it is pulling correctly because it's plugged in correctly. And it shows here that it is drawing about 17, 34, 25. Again, it hasn't been on, so it is hot on the inside. So this is in the initial cool down process. But it's showing you that it is trying to regulate to figure out where the sweet spot is to keep it at the temperature I have programmed on it over here. Now, currently inside it is 89 degrees because it is just the temperature of the outside, and I have it set where it will come back to 35 degrees. So right now it's trying to figure out, again, the spot for which the power should flow. But at the rate that it's going, I would have 20 hours that I could use this tiny little 300 watt power station on my refrigerator before I have to charge it. Now I realize that might not seem like a lot in the grand scheme of a refrigerator because you're gonna want that thing running 24/7. However, go with me on this. If you have a dedicated power station that runs your refrigerator and this is your supplemental power for whenever you've got that one out in the sun getting all of the sunshine on your solar panels, this is perfect. In fact, that's how I've been using it. I use it to offset my bigger power station, which I only use for my refrigerator. And I've been using it around camp in a variety of different ways. Let me show you some of the clips from some of those videos that I've kind of shared it on here and there to show you all the things I've been able to accomplish using this tiny little power station. Wow guys, so today I decided I was going to charge it in a different way to see how it responded. So today I have this little guy plugged into that big guy plugged into the van, and right now we're pulling about 58 watts in and we're already at 22%. It has only been plugged up for about 15 minutes. That is a fast charge. That is a super fast charge. Now, as you can see, this thing is handy, and I've done everything from powering my laptop by going to somebody else's vehicle so I wouldn't be using their power, pulling it out on picnic tables so I could work in the middle of a beautiful location. I have used it whenever the rain was bad, so I didn't have any power on my larger station to supplement so that I could get some power flowing again. And I have charged my cell phone dozens of times at this point, and I have found that this is a very good little guy. I mean, it's super compact. As you can see, it just fits pretty much anywhere in my van. Right now the van's a mess because I'm working on projects. Oop, what's that? Yeah, we'll see more of that soon. But typically this guy right here lives in this spot right under my fire extinguisher. It's a good place for it because it's right by my door, so I can access it to bring it out here where I am in the world, or I can leave it right here and use it by placing things on top of it like my cell phone or my batteries, and it's completely out of the way of my typically open aisle. Not to mention, this is one of those power stations that if you really needed to carry power with you, you could. It fits into a hiking backpack, believe it or not. Now, I don't personally want to take a power station along with me, but I know a lot of people who do, and some of them just use those tiny little solar packs that don't do a whole lot of good. Well, you could have 300 watts in a hiking pack. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there because it does in fact work. In fact, I tried putting it in several of my bags just to see, and it fit in every single one of them. Now you might be saying, hey Bunny, I want a power station, but I do not have a van or a vehicle. I do not travel. I just want it for home. Is this good for that? Yes. Yes, it is. In fact, I have been looking into different options to have at-home preparedness also, because when I am at base camp, I live in Texas, and we have not the most reliable power grid at this point. So having something that can generate a little bit of electricity, even here at base camp, is something that is always on my mind. The 300 watt is great for doing smaller jobs, keeping a charge on your cell phone in case of emergencies, being able to back up a little bit of your data if the power goes out before your laptop dies, things like that. So it is a very nice, easy starter power station for sure, and one that I would highly recommend for preparedness or for van life. Now, if you are interested in this power station, I will be dropping a link below. Again, this is a nice value for money item. I've been using it for a while now and very much so enjoying it. I even checked out if it would fit into Lady Bugout's van because she has a very specific amount of space. And if you're familiar with her channel, it fits under her bench. It's that small. So this is a perfect one for you guys to look into also, and I think that you would be really pleased if you're looking for something in the 300 watt range. Now, again, 300 watts is going to be enough to do most basic things. I am a power person. I need tons of power because I run way too many electronics. But even with the amount of electronics that I run, I was super satisfied with how this performed. I was able to hook in my power-hungry laptop to this guy and get several hours of editing under my belt before I had to hook it back in again and charge it back up. That is a miracle because my laptop drains everything, guys. This one, all in all, I would say is a definite win when it comes to a 300 watt power station. It's small, but it's mighty. It's compact. It goes in all the nooks and crannies, and I am very pleased with this one. I hope you guys have enjoyed coming along with me to check out this power station, and I hope that it's kind of put you in the right direction if you were looking for something like this. Remember, guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time, and being able to charge our devices makes that good time better. Until next time, guys, bye!